Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and a new Nigeria is certainly possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on your time zone. We've come again today to discuss what is happening in Nigeria. A lot is happening. Yesterday, we just discussed about the expenses that the State House did on tires. I mean, car tires. That's the discussion we did yesterday. And today, again, we're hearing about 400 and something million dealt on Chief Bola Tinubu's wife on just travel expenses alone. We are going to have a discussion on that. And again, we are going to bring you what a new session, the Senate, National Assembly, has called for an urgent session to review Chief Bola Tinubu's supplementary budget proposal for the 2024 fiscal year. And of course, we know that includes the request for the presidential jet. And again, we also have to bring you about the NEC meeting that is ongoing presently with the 36 governors in attendance to discuss the minimum wage, which is we are expecting that they will come out on. So the vice president, of course, Chetima, and governors or some members of the Chief Bola Tinubu economic team are currently meeting in Abuja today, and the meeting under the aegis of the National Economic Council (NEC) is holding at the council chambers of the presidential villa in Abuja. And other things that has to deal with outside of Nigeria, where Kenyans have decided that what President Ruto of Kenya told them yesterday is not good enough, and they hit the street. Even the multi-agency security forces were deployed in Nairobi as youths flood the streets, citing the resignation of the president of Kenya, which is Ruto. Those things we have to discuss, and we need to discuss all of this. We have Divine Dawns in the studio, and of course we have the Peaceful Peace.
Very warm welcome, and thank you for joining us on this live broadcast. Let us have these conversations.
Good evening, Obidient worldwide. Welcome to the show.
All right, wherever you are watching us live, please do like, share, subscribe so that other Obedience and well-meaning Nigerians will know that we have come to have this discussion. Let's get this started. We don't have time. $400 and something million for Chief Bola Tinubu's wife that does not have an office, but within a space of 3-4 months, going outside of Nigeria, and she tells us to keep on praying that Nigeria will get better. And now the request for presidential jet. But let's first start with how, should I say, the office of the First Lady that is unconstitutional will be spending so much money when we are talking about starvation and hardship in Nigeria.
Well, the exact figure is 473 million naira, and that's what the report is telling us, that over the last couple of months, 3 to 4 months, like the report puts it, that is what the office of the First Lady, Chief Tinubu's wife, has spent in just traveling to 3 countries. Now, we don't know if these countries she traveled to were on official duties or were just for leisure or, pleasure. But the point is that Nigeria spent, 473 million of taxpayers' money to actually, sponsor these travels. And like we keep saying in this particular program, it just shows that there is a, lack of sensitivity concerning the plight of Nigerians, right? We've been having conversations on minimum wage, and it's particularly painful because governors are bringing up all flimsy excuses to say they cannot afford to pay their workers, or rather the staff of their states, good money to ensure that they are living well, and keep coming up on or stumbling upon different reports that tell us of how many times this government is actually spending money on irrelevant things. 473 million is... And
we're just talking about trips to just 3 countries. The UK, Mozambique, and Ethiopia. That's how expended 473 million. Well, and it's not notwithstanding, again, we also have reports that Nigerian government has paid dormant companies that are not even in the CSC, that they paid them 29.8 million for State House Veterinary Slaughterhouse project. They spent another 7.2 million on books for State House Library in one day. And they are telling Nigerians to persevere, that things are going to get better.
Well, you know, it's just very sad. State house, you know, slaughterhouse. It's only in Nigeria that we get to hear this kind of thing. Slaughterhouse. So everything in the state house, you have to have special. What do we need a slaughterhouse for? And why are we paying 29.8 million to companies that are not traceable? Yesterday we were talking about the 244 million for the car tires, right, that they supposedly changed, and the fact that one of the companies they wired over 80% of that money to. It's not even at CSC. Basically, it's probably one. It's not existing. You know, establishments where they used to launder money and siphon money, and I think it's really sad concerning the 7.2 million for their you know, library or whatever, state house library. I think it's very funny because if you're spending that amount on putting books in the state library, one will expect that these people are actually reading these books, because the way they are acting and the kind of policies they are taking is not really, you know, telling us that they are doing any form of reading in the first place. Do you get? So we don't even understand. It's just really, really sad. Every day we come here, we're talking about mismanagement and, you know, misappropriation of public funds, and I think it needs to stop.
Well, I think that is why His Excellency P2B has berated them and said that Nigerian health sector, that most homes now resort to prayers when they are sick. They will resort to prayers. Every other person. May I come to you? Your mother on the doom since, notwithstanding all the economic hardship where they hit everywhere. Why don't they show for your face peaceful peace? You know, they show for your face. But anyway, Sha, you don't hear. Tinubu wife don waka enter UK, go Ethiopia and Mozambique. Only 3 countries. So now he can't spend how much? 473 million naira. Just these very 3 countries. So now she don't waka and she no get statutory budget. We be say there a lot to her. Now another one where they will come out again. They don't pay for, is it for veterinary slaughterhouse? They spent 7.2 million on books. For the slaughterhouse is 29 point, almost 30 million. And then they talk say, make we they pray. Say things go dey better. So when we they pray, then go they spend the money. How you take feel? How you they take siam? How you want to make ordinary Nigerians take they see this kind nonsensical expenses wey be say they happen for this administration?
Anyways, thank you, Mr. Kanu. I've always felt bad, like, you know, because all of these things are so pathetic. Like, it's a pathetic story, and seeing it alone breaks my heart every day, because I'm part of those people where we say everything where they happen for this Niger, it break my heart. Now, I won't ask a question, though, because sometimes I go come they ask who raised these people. Where are they from? How they take raise these people? Because it can't be like say they don't even get any atom of human. Make
I answer your question quick even before you finish. Tinubu, when you dey talk, we go there from the story where you talk, because he no tell us where in come out from Tete. Exactly. But from the stories where we get as in take come out, saying suffer well, and you know how the team they pay poor man, because now from the poor man where him be now in waka come out for Niger saying suffer well. But from wetin you dey ask, the attitude wey dem dey show for there no show say even see any atom of suffering.
Yes, exactly. Now the first lady traveled. All those trips where she just dey waka about, are those trips, are they necessary? Why she comot? Where she dey go? Now those money now where they carry, no be loot, they loot them. They come collect public fund where be say they suppose use them, do better things for the citizens. They no do all of those things. All of this money now where she use waka up and down. Now wait till she achieve from it.
But you remember say, now the same Remi Tinubu talk say when they do campaign, say they get money, say they no come make them for collect government money. Say they get their money go, and when we believe them, they get money true, you understand? Because they dey for government, see, now people where they for government for Nigeria, then they get money well. So they get money. Why they no fit use that their personal money? They do all those travels, they do all those philanthropy and something. Why they go use Nigeria money? They do all those things?
It's pure wickedness, because I think they enjoy doing all of those things, because this money now where they don't siphon, they use them, they work out for no reason. Not be say they get any important thing where they won't go do there. They suppose use them, buy enough food, give to people where we say they don't get anything, misplaced people where we say they underprivileged, where we say they don't get hope of where they go shop or where they go stay. There are a lot of things, a lot of important good things where we say they supposed to do for this Nigeria, and you go not say true we get leaders, but now all of those money they go come use and they fly around, they do anything anyhow. These people, their matter self even tire me, but all I know is that what goes around comes around.
Well, matter tire you as Matthias, make I quickly come. You see, this thing where peace just talk now, divine. It can't remind me say for the place where we say whether na for Burkina Faso, now I hear say even a common young man will be say in take over from democratic government will become now military leader for that place. Come carry tractors, will pass like 400 tractors, come through the whole place, say make them go farm. You understand? Right. You don't hear say all the whole money within the budget say they don't carry tractors and farmland and all those things. You know, we don't see anything. What do you think? Make you speak them as me they speak them. Don't speak all this your grammar. Make our people hear waiting they talk.
Okay, so basically the point is that you made a very, very salient point, to be very honest, because farming is really necessary. It is the only means that we're going to be able to move from consumption to production, like His Excellency P2B always, speaks about, right? But you see, the problem is concerning this, the First Lady's travels and the current expenses is costing Nigerians. I just want to bring the point that we remember some months ago we're talking about how Ajuri Ngelale, that's the president spokesman, came out to say that they were going to be reducing the amount of delegates that will be traveling with Tinubu because they're trying to reduce cost and all of that. That these people will now go with less domestic staff, less people, because they're trying to cut down the cost of governance. And we had the conversation here that everything is propaganda. Where we're back at it to show you that all those times when they gathered to come and talk about, cutting cost of governance, they were never serious. They just wanted to gain clout and just trend for a couple of, minutes on social media. Because if they were very serious about cutting the cost of governance, we would not be having this conversation of 29.8 million naira for a slaughterhouse. Why do we need a state slaughterhouse, right? And so, speaking of farming too, I've always talked about the fact that hunger in Nigeria is used by the ruling class as a weapon. They know what to do. They know the right places to invest in if they are truly trying to emancipate Nigerians and make sure we get the dividends of democracy. But the truth of the matter is that they always want Nigerians to be hungry, because that hunger is a weapon that they use to actually manipulate people. So it's not about them not knowing what to do. It's about the fact that it is not fitting their personal interest, and that's why they're not going to invest in things like farming. They always invest in very, very, unreasonable projects.
Why would they talk about that very one? They don't begin to consider to approve whether they even talk, say they don't purchase the presidential jet or not. But we'll enter another segment for the people where we said they join us for June. We get plenty Nigerians and Obidient where we said in there for June, where they want to choke their mouth for inside this very matter. But before we get to them on Zoom, we want to make them hear waiting somebody where we say they talk about this very jet where they talk waiting they call a Madi Shehu, waiting in talk is with my ear. So I thought say make all of us make we even listen to that very something, because their desperation to purchase the new planes at a project 930 billion, close on 1 trillion for Tinubu and Kashim Shettima clearly established a permanent disconnect between them and us. That is, and the loss of trust. Now, so Madi Shehu take talk, but make we even listen how in take talk for the video where we get. We don't go tell. We'll come back now.
Whether it is true or not, because this issue has been on the table for quite some time. There has been rumors around the need, or rather the plan to purchase a new aircraft for the president. But do you think it is sensible, what do you make up with the sensibility or sensitivity of buying a presidential aircraft? At this moment, Nigerians are, facing difficulties getting even a square meal.
The first thing that one takes, the moment, if you want to know something is false or true, the moment the federal government denies a news item, then it is true. It is just a matter of time. It will come to pass like a prophecy. It will manifest. That is aside. The second issue is supposing, assuming it is true that they have made up their minds to buy brand new aircrafts at a projected cost of 980 billion naira. In Nigeria today, the list is to say it is very, very insensitive. It is also callous. It is also very, very inconsiderate. In a country where government is saying they cannot pay a minimum wage 250,000 naira, in a country where you have to give student loans to go and pay for their education, in a country where you subsidize Hajj, in a country where you spend billions of naira to buy luxury cars for about 600 people, in a country where renovation of villas and residences takes precedence over the welfare and living of Nigerians, then that is a sign that all is not well. It's a sign of complete disconnect. Anybody who contemplates, demand, accepts or justifies buying of aeroplane is a person living in denial, and it's a confirmation of complete disconnect between the politicians who are living in luxury and the voters who are living in abject poverty.
So joining us at this very segment to have discussions on the expenses, the callous expenses of Chief Bola Tinubu and his administration is we have our members on Zoom. Let's start. We have many of them on Zoom, but let's quickly take the ones that can get us started as our time is moving fast. Let's start with Lord Kingsley. Lord Kingsley is our regular here, and of course a true son of Edo, who said that what Chief Bola Tinubu said in Edo is not just a slap to democracy, but an insult to the Edo people. But let's start with this very news of the expenses going on. Please, Lord Kingsley, tell us what your thoughts on the expenses being made 29.8 million for State House Veterinary Slaughterhouse project on a dormant company. It means that this company is existing in CAC, but is dormant. Nothing. So they wired the person 29.8 million. Do we believe them? Then they spend another 7.2 million on books for the State House Library. Who reads those books? Is it Chief Bola Tinubu? Then we have Remi Tinubu spending 473 million on trip to UK, Mozambique, and Ethiopia. Please, Lord Kingsley, tell us your thoughts on these things.
Mr. Kanu, good evening, Obidient family around the world and fellow Nigerians. Thank you again for this opportunity to speak on these issues. My take on this issue is the fact that, well, they said if the head is rotten, expect nothing else from the body. Now, I want to understand if Tinubu and his family, or Tinubu and whomsoever, are going to be involved in this slaughterhouse eating of the meats or whatever they are doing there. I want to know if they are eating a different kind of meat, or is a different kind of cow or whatever they want to slaughter there. If it's something out of this planet they are bringing in there to slaughter. We have had how many presidents in this country? We have had how many state leaders in this country? They have all used one slaughterhouse or the other to at least eat their meals, one way or the other. But why is it? Why is it now? Why is it now that the country is actually experiencing first-class hardship, insecurity, that they now see it fit? They now see it fit that they want to now spend 29.8, almost 30 million naira to build a slaughterhouse. Are they going to be slaughtering just cow there or something else? Because this is a very good question I'm asking, in the sense that only God can judge what these people are doing to our country and our fellow Nigerians. $28.9 million naira to build a slaughterhouse, when you can actually hold the cow outside on the road and cut the head and do whatever you want to do with it, you go and eat the meat. But you want to spend 28.9 million naira when you cannot afford to pay 250,000 to people that want to pay school fees, that want to feed, that want to pay house rent, that want to pay medical bills. I think there's something fundamentally wrong here. There's something fundamentally wrong. And the wife, Remi Tinubu, actually went out spending 473 million naira just for a trip to the to the UK and I think to some other places, about two places like that.
Mozambique and Ethiopia were there for here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Spending 473 million naira. And these are countries that their currency is even worse than Nigeria. So what did she go and spend the money on? What did she go and spend the money on? Or is it another way of voicemailing the Nigerian currency? I mean, we should be looking at all these things technically. We should be looking at them technically, not with our trivial eyes of, oh, well, it's on holidays. She went, she has to pay for this, she has to pay for that. What is she paying for? After all the wealth the husband has, why is she still using that amount of money out of Nigerians' purse, out of taxpayers' money that they cannot afford to pay 250,000 naira to? And then after all that, Tinubu himself came out yesterday saying, oh, well, no, yesterday or day before yesterday, saying that I, as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we deliver those states. We deliver those states, the heartbeat of Nigeria, to APC. After the nonsense APC have been doing for the past how many years they've been in control? Almost 9 years right now. He's now saying that he will deliver those states to APC. How is he going to do that? So is he indirectly telling us now that he has planned the fraud already? He has planned to snatch. He has planned to run with Edo election. He has planned to run away with it. Just like what he did to get into his own seats right now, he's planning to do the same thing again in Edo states. So he's telling us that INEC has been compromised already. INEC has been compromised already. That is what he has just told us, plain and clear. That regardless of whatever is happening there, that Edo State is going to be APCs. Edo State is going to APC. That's what he just said to us. When he knows that Edo State is nothing to do with APC, he knows his APC party and himself and everything with APC, I mean, they are all babash. They cannot contain even one local government in Edo State anymore. No wonder Denise and the governor that they want to bring in. That's why they're not bothered to go and answer questions with Arise or Channel TV or any channels at all. They're not bothered. All they're just doing is just telling, oh, we are the governor, we are going to be the governor, we are going to be the vice. Because they know they have that federal mind, which of course Tinubu just pronounced 2 days ago that he's going to deliver Edo State to APC. Well, I'm making it clear right now that what he has said is drawing a battle line. He has drawn the battle line, and we in Edo State, we are waiting to see how that's going to happen. He will remember that Edo is not Lagos. He knew what happened when they came the last time to campaign 4 years ago. He saw what happened to him. Even with the bullion van he came with, he saw what happened to him. Well, let's leave it like that.
All right.
Let's leave it like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. Let's take the next person who is on this. I think Tony is. Let's take Tony on this. Tony, but before I get you over, give you over the mic to help us state your opinion on this, I will also want you to add to the discussion on the meeting going on so that we take them all. That is the meeting of the NEC, especially as the issue of minimum wage is still being discussed as of today by Chief Bola Tinubu and the organized labor who are hopeful. Let's take a listen to what the Joe Ajero, who happens to be the president of the labor unions, who expressed optimism that they are going to resolve this issue. Let's take a listen. When we come back, please, Tony, you can now take the mic and make this very quick contribution, putting all of them together.
Minimum wage, we will go to National Assembly.
But Labour is asking...
it's about what Labour is asking.
A few hours after this comment by the Minister of Labour and Employment, the Executive Council of the Federation on Tuesday stepped down the document for further consultation on the two figures of 62,000 naira and 250,000 naira. The news for further consultation excites organized labor.
Because they don't want to make a mistake. I want to believe that. They don't want to make pronouncement that it will backfire on them. So possibly that's why they want to make more wilder consultation, so that as they pronounce, they pay. You get to a time whether anybody likes it or not, there must be a pronouncement of minimum wage in Nigeria, because it's a law.
However, the Trade Union Congress President, Festus Osifo, and other labor leaders are urging state governors to brace up and begin saving to pay a new national minimum wage that will reduce the current economic hardship on workers.
I encourage him to continue in that regard, to pay salary promptly, and also to implement the new minimum wage. Then I wish to also use opportunity to speak to all other states as well, that they should be putting plans in place to implement the new minimum wage. Because in labor today, we are totally ready, because when the new minimum wage act is passed, we are going to follow it state by state to ensure that it is implemented.
These labor leaders are also commending the Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo for appointing former labor leaders into his government and upscaling workers' welfare.
That Kogi State government is the news of the day all over, because of so many fights of non-payment of salaries and so many issues. It was on air each and every time, but I believe that in every hardship there will be solace. So this is the best time Kogi State workers will enjoy the dividend of democracy.
I say this appointment is, for us in labor, it's like we have a duty to do our best to see that our voices are heard. Not only being heard, to put in the best we can put in, so that henceforth, subsequently, government can see the value in labor leaders around the system of governance.
The special advisor on labor...
Tony, commenting on this, you've heard them. When yesterday we are having a discussion, we mentioned the fact that these labor union leaders, only they profit out of what is happening currently in Nigeria, not really about the masses. You can see them celebrating about the appointment that one of their members got in Kogi State, not minding that majority of their members are languishing and not even having the 60,000 naira or even the 30,000 naira that has been passed since a long time ago. So I want you to join these things on as you comment on the issues of the excess expenses that is coming there, notwithstanding the economic hardship happening in the country today. I want you to add that, and also the fact that what is happening in Kenya right now is what the labor union should be looking at, and all Nigerians should be looking at to get the message passed to the government. Tony.
Everybody, whenever we talk about Nigeria, it's just so depressing. So depressing because what is going on in this country is really nothing to talk about in the real sense that in a sane society, the government supposed to take care of their people, whether it's state, local, or federal. What we have here in this country is a group of leaders
Okay, I think we lost Tony somehow there. Let me quickly get to Kenny Willie. Mr. Bassi, please join these very issues, especially on what is in Kenya. Please put them together while we are waiting for Mr. Tony to join us back in.
Sorry, a call came in and disconnected me. I'm back. Hello?
Okay, please, quickly. Yeah.
Yes. On the issue of extravagant expenses, what do you expect? This is a party, really. They came to government to have fun. They don't care about the masses. They don't care about giving workers a living wage. What in hell call this Nigeria can you do with 60,000 or 62,000 naira per month? What? And they're having fun, building slaughterhouses, traveling across the globe, spending our money, and because nobody can do anything to them. The institutions we have in this country are part of the problem we have. Even Nigerians themselves, we are the ones assisting them to get to power. Then the institutions make sure that they stay in power and that nobody can challenge them. Nobody can challenge them. This is really abnormal. This is not how a country with intelligent people, smart people, educated people, they're paying to put books in the library. Do they read that books? I think somebody asked that question. To see how other countries manage their economy. All these politicians, what they do is they play politics as if it is what they were elected or what they bought. Some of them bought their positions. Read the books, see what other countries are doing in their various countries. There was one Ghanaian pastor that said, Nigeria keep electing or selecting dumb people. But if you go to Europe, especially in America, they excel in business, they excel in academics. They have smart people, but they keep electing dumb people. And I said to myself, actually, we did not elect most of these people. They bought their way into positions. They hijacked their way into these positions. Kenyan youths are now proving. I read one article where a guy was lamenting that enough is enough. Even if he is killed, well, it doesn't matter anymore. He's now demonstrating for the future of his kids, the mother, the father. This is what really, I think, in my own opinion, needs to happen in this country. The labor unions are supposed to be the champions of the masses, not just their own rank and file. They're supposed to represent the average Nigerian. We're suffering. But they're happy because one governor appointed one of them. He's buying their silence. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And that guy he appointed will go there and cater for himself. And I tell you. So we are in a great mess. We are in deep SIHIT.
All right, thank you very much, Tony. You've spoken so well that I just felt even very much touched for Nigerians, as if we don't hope, but we preach hope every day. Let's hear from Mr. Bassi. Please, let's keep this on point and very short due to our time.
Thank you, Mr. Kanu.
You're welcome.
Good evening, all the studio panelists. Good day, all the Obedients across the world, the listeners. Nigeria is a sorry story. Every day we wake up with issues that break our heart. And it clearly shows that we are practicing a government where the very least and the worst of us is leading the best of us. I can't understand why they are going in this trajectory of depleting our commonwealth just to ensure that they take care of their luxurious lifestyle. You did mention earlier, reminding of what Remi Tinubu said during the campaign, that they are not poor, that they are rich people, they are not coming to touch Nigerian money. But by their action today, does it really show that they are rich? They are acting as people who have never seen money. And that's why they are trying to deplete our common patrimony. What is supposed to go around for everybody to ensure that an average Nigerian live a quality lifestyle. But here we are facing this set of people trying to ruin our nation. I ask a question. Where are the civil society? Where are religious leaders of yesterday? Where are the civil rights activists? Today, all of them have gone quiet. Nobody seems to talk. Nobody is talking. Everybody is quiet. And they are looking at how these people are ruining our nation, destroying our commonwealth. They are soon converting us so rough to another nation where they have to build abattoir. They have to build all manner of things. I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow they are going to build an airport in Aso Rock. so that the president will have all the comfort of this world. It's just a sorry state that we have found ourselves. Like I keep saying, Nigerians, our destiny is in our hands. That matters. If we think this government is going to lead us out of the, we are daydreaming. Because the level of wastage that is going on in this government is unbelievable. How is it possible that a company that was never registered with CAC, how did that company, how was he able to open a bank account? When you and I know that if you don't have a proper registered company, you cannot open a bank account in this country. How was it possible for such a company to open a bank account such that money will be transferred to such an account? So even our banks,
90.8 million.
Yes, even our banks are complicit. They are not upholding the ethics of that industry. Those ethics are only relevant, they are only applicable to an average common man who's out to do a legitimate business. So this is where we have found ourselves as a nation. NLC is not helping matters. Today they are having a meeting, calling it a NEC meeting. You and I know that nothing good is coming out of that meeting. It's just a convergence of interest group that's out to protect. So Nigerians will need to rise up and take our destiny into our hands.
Right,
this particular government is not to help us anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bassi, joining us from River Calabar Municipal. We have a new person who joined us on Zoom that we're having a discussion before we started, and I want to get that perspective. Because one, we have not discussed about this urgent call for the National Assembly to reconvene. We know that they are on recess or break, as they call it, but we do know that they have now called back all the Parliament to come back, especially the senators, to deliberate on the budget, especially the one to repurchase presidential jets. That is what is coming. So I want us to join this finally on this discussion to, have one or two things on the newcomer before we get to Elder Obode. Is it Lamin? Yes, please, Lamin, you have the mic. Can we make this, join the conversation, please?
I'm together with you, my comrades. I really enjoyed the topics of discussion, and if I understand right now, I'm giving my own input on this issue of purchase of new jets, this presidential jet. What I know is that what APC have been campaigning about is to reduce the fleet of jets they have and to remit the money back to the national treasury. But surprisingly, right now as it stands, in this current situation of Nigeria, where the hardship is pronounced and felt by the masses of the country, instead of them to fulfill their promise, as they said in their campaigns, to reduce the presidential fleet, they are now thinking of purchasing a new one. So it's very unfortunate. And I'm going to say this. I don't know, because I'm like, I'll call myself a youth. Youths in Nigeria, we are just not even knowing that the future is ours. So what I want to do particularly is all this kind of discussions should be ingrained in our brains with the youth. Look at what Kenya is doing. If we don't rise up, we have the strength, we have the time, we have the intellect. Some of us that are privileged are educated. We are supposed to know that if we allow this, we will be the bearers of this. Most of the people talking here have contributed their own quota and will soon be elder statesmen. But it is our own time, our future, and the future of our kids, the next coming generation. So it's time we rise up. I like that idea that has been portrayed here, that it's time to rise up. We enable this. I blame the youths of this country. We enable this. And it is in platforms like, in parties like this, people like Peter Obi, if the youths have really listened to their manifesto, the campaigns in this party, like you see, I'm from the north, where dominantly APC has like a landslide of votes. But there are people like us who actually know the folks what they are doing. So I don't understand what is happening. Why are the youths relaxed and allowing this to? I blame us. So it's time we rise up, because they have no outer of. They have no outer of I'm trying to get the right word to put here, of humanity. They have no outer of humanity. They are selfish. All they think about is themselves.
We want to jump, but I want you to add this very major issue of what is happening in Kenya to the discussion. Do you see what's happening in Kenya happening in Nigeria? That body.
Yes, Oh, okay.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, listeners. Good evening, studio. Well, when you look at it, Kenya produced the United States President Barack Obama. So they're ahead of us. But all the same, we're the same black people. But particularly Nigeria, there's something very wrong with Nigeria. But when you go outside of Nigeria, you find a lot of brilliant people. You find a lot of brilliant people from North Pole to South Pole, from China to Taiwan to, America, find brilliant Nigerians. So why is it that the thugs are given the reins in Nigeria?
Thank you.
Well, the Nigerian youth, you have to stand up. Go on, stand up and be counted. This na my person thing must go away. This na my person must die. We must kill it. That's my contribution for today.
Thank you very much, Elder Statesman Ubode. Yes, we share your concern. Nobody is invoking a violent protest, but rather we are saying that the Tinubu-led administration has been doing some excessive spending that is not required or needed. That is where we are pointing our discussion is geared, and the citizens has to know that such discussions and spending needs to be discussed, and let the Nigerian public and the well-meaning Nigerians know that their money being spent to a first lady's travel to UK, Mozambique is not needed. 473 million as reported, and also 29.8 million paid to a dormant company that is not known. 7.2 million on books for State House Library in one day. Oh my goodness. The public needs to know that they are spending so much on frivolities and not bringing that. Let's also hear very briefly from Reverend Peter Idongeni. Let's take a listen to Reverend Pete before we call it a day.
Are you hearing me?
Yes,
please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, look at it. There's a say in my place that if you do not drive the monkey from the cherry that is far in the bush, then it's likely to come to the mango that is close to your backyard.
In your house.
And that is exactly what we are seeing now. You can remember that when these people started this manipulation, when the court wanted to give their judgment, all of them were sending their children out of this place because they already know that what they were going to do was evil. And they thought that Nigerians are going to react. But to the greatest surprise, Nigerians were comfortable with every decision. And somebody was telling me that PO did not speak, don't ask people to come out. I asked him, must PO ask us to come out? Must he ask somebody to come out? You have put in what you think is best, and somebody is trying to frustrate it. Then yet, you are waiting for another person to come and tell you that you should take action. And that is what is happening. Now, look at the spending of the president. No response from anywhere. Nobody raised eyebrows. And the wife is doing the same thing now. Because nobody has rise up and nobody seems to feel the pains, and the Nigerians are waiting for God to come down and speak for them. It's not possible, because what God has given you, the wisdom, the abilities to do, He will not come down to help you, because He has given you the power to do that. And that's exactly what is happening today. Now, this man, look at it. They are coming back from their holiday now because of a private jet. But for 1 year they have been debating about the workers' salary without success. But when they want to talk about their own, it's just 1 day. It's enough. But when it comes to the masses, they are going to set up committee so that the committee will look at it and send it to the man that is next to heaven. Then before they send it to God, then when God finish with it, He return it back before they are going to execute it. It's because look at what is happening in Kenya. These are people who knows their onions. Look at Bolivia. Yesterday, the people have been protesting, but yesterday the soldier they strike, but they are co-free. Why? Because they want to take their country in their whole house.
Reverend Peter, I want to interject here. In the sense that, one, if you look at Nigeria as we speak right now, from every nook and corner, every one pole, every 2 poles, we have churches, we have fellowship houses, we have one Christian organization, one Christian togetherness, even with the Muslims as well. But now, if all these reverend, if all these pastors, if all these clerics or wherever they are, if they are in their pulpits, in their podiums, telling the public, telling them that, look, the way this country is not the right way. What we are doing now is not God's will. What we are dealing with now is not God's will for us. I believe the youths and everybody in that church, they will start getting the spirit to go out. But no, that is not the case. When they go to church, what did the pastor tell them? Don't worry, God is in charge. Hold your peace. Heaven will come and help you. I mean, this is what is going wrong in our country.
No,
and
that is
correct.
No, but I refuse to accept that. Because
no, that is what I'm telling you.
No. If you are my father, you cannot ask me to jump into the fire. Then I jump into it because you are my father. Or because you are my father, somebody cannot come and take what belongs to me. And you ask me to leave it for him because you are my father. It doesn't make any sense.
In Kenya today, this revolution started with the youths. This revolution started with the youths. Where did the youths come from? From the individual corners of the streets, from individual churches, from everywhere. They gathered and said, enough is enough. But who is going to promote that in our country?
But the truth